respond back, lock it in. What does it look like? It looks like you're frozen. It looks like you're looking at me, waiting to receive the next important point. What does it sound like? It sounds like silence on your end because everybody is focused on what I am saying. Let's try it out. I say lock it in, you say lock it in. Lean forward and give me your intense focus. Here we go. Class, class, class?
Yes, yes, yes.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Ooh, a little faster. Let's reset, shake it out. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Just take your volume and lower it to about right here. Let's reset. Here we go. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
That's it right there. Now, whenever I go over the set of instructions I would like for you to do, don't do them yet, because remember, you are locked in, so you're frozen, you're just listening. Here's the end in mind. Here's the goalpost. We're going to do it all together as a class team. We're going to take out 3 items: whiteboard, marker, and eraser. Not yet. Freeze, you're locked in. The way we're going to do this is 1 item at a time. I'm going to prompt you with the 3-peat. Whenever I say that item 3 times, you respond back to it 3 times while you are taking it out. Let's try the first one. Class.
Yes.
Get ready, class.
Get ready, yes.
First item is whiteboard out, out,
Whiteboard
out.
Whiteboard out, out, out.
Whiteboards are out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn it to a neighbor, almost fast enough.
Almost fast
All
enough.
right, next item is dry erase marker, out, out, out. Dry erase marker,
Out, out,
I'm
out.
looking for dry erase markers. I got a whole row right here of dry erase markers. Keep it on your desk. Do not hold it. Dry erase markers on your desk. Your next and final item is eraser. Wait for it. Eraser out, out, out.
Eraser out, out, out.
In 3, 2, 1. I will name each item. Give me a check if you have it. Whiteboard.
Check.
Whiteboard.
Check.
Dry erase marker.
Check.
Eraser.
Check.
Share with a partner. I'll give you about 3 minutes, okay? Teach.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to start by saying teach, and then you're going to say, okay. Just like that. Let's try it. Teach.
Okay.
With rhythm this time. Teach.
Okay.
All right. It's 2. Try it again. Teach.
Okay.
After you say, okay, you're going to turn face to face with your partner. Ready? Teach.
Okay.
Your body should be turning. It's a physical turn. Turning. The question is, what's your favorite color? When you answer the question with your partner, you're going to turn. You're going to answer the question, but you're not going to go red. You're going to answer in complete sentences. You're going to answer like a scholar. That's right. You're answering the question, what is your favorite color? Teach.
It took me years to get an effective classroom management system down. Even this year, in my 10th year teaching, I'm adapting it and evolving it. I keep it pretty simple. Our class rules are posted and then the consequences in order. First time's a warning, second time's a chat, and third time a parent contact. Here I have every student's name and then the class number. So let's say James is number 9, and that morning we're doing math, and then he's playing at his desk with the tech deck. So write his name up here and it's warning. Then let's say we move on to science, and instead of him doing science that day, he is passing notes. That's the point where I put a check mark here and it's a chat. Then let's say he does not learn from that conversation, then it is going to be a parent contact. Now I've adapted this. Instead of putting numbers on the board, I now use a clipboard. I did this for 2 reasons. Number 1, I didn't like having the numbers on the board and shaming the kid. It felt like the same thing as writing their name on the board for everyone to see. And number 2, I have documentation to back up their behavior, like a history of days and days and days of them getting warnings or getting to that second strike. This paper is very simple. It just has students' names and then the date on the top. So I can easily refer to it if a parent's asking me how's my child in class, which students are not getting any strikes or any warnings, and which of those are really making repeated offenses. I will say this though, in the past when students would see their number on the board, they were much quicker to making better choices and switch up their behavior because they knew they were on a path to getting to parent contact. Versus this is not as visual, so some students don't make that connection. So I do make an effort for them to see and be aware of it, especially in that second phase where it's a chat, that they see their name and they know they got 2 strikes against their name and they need to make better choices going forward.
Here are 5 classroom management techniques that I've been using in my classroom since the beginning of the year that still are working on my students, even in November. The first one, since the beginning of the year, I set the expectation that my students should have their eyes and knees pointing at me. So anytime we're at the carpet, anytime I'm walking around the room and teaching, students know that their eyes and knees should be pointing at me. And so as I move, their body's moving too. And that's been really helpful for keeping them engaged as I'm teaching. Number 2, we do bubbles in my classroom. So when it's not your turn to be talking or when it's expected to be quiet, everybody keeps a bubble in. I even walk down the hallway of my own school with a bubble in my mouth. This one has started to slow down a little bit, but what I've started doing is offering a cotton candy flavored bubble or a chocolate chip covered bubble or a broccoli flavored bubble or an apple flavored bubble, and then giving the kids choices. They catch it and they put it in their mouth or in their pocket if they need an extra one for later. Number 3 is when I'm transitioning my students back to their desk. So maybe we're coming from outside of the room or maybe we're coming from rug time, but we all sing the song, sit at your desk, sit at your desk, sit at your desk, sit at your desk, sit at your desk. Sometimes we do one hand, sometimes I'll yell both hands on your head, and students will rush back to their desk so that they're allowed to bang on their desk, which is really fun. Number 4, anytime we're working with writing utensils, so markers, crayons, pencils, dry erase markers, every single time we always do markers up, and then that shows me that they're ready to move on to the next problem, like they're done writing. So we say markers up, and they repeat, point to number 5, point to number 5, and then we'll write. And then if I want them to be engaged with me and not writing, I yell markers down, and then they're sitting and waiting. Number 5, this is also when we're doing a whole class writing activity, or if I need them to be using a writing utensil in some way. Whenever I need to see who in the class has the work done and who doesn't, I say I'll know you're finished because you'll have a unicorn horn, and then they all put their pencils up on their head like this. Sometimes I'll do I know you're finished because I'll see a rhino, and they'll all put a rhino horn on. We also do mustache, we've done unibrow, we've done ponytail, anything you can think of, and it gets them moving, and I can see who's finished, who's not, who needs more time. Super helpful for me. These strategies are still working for me with my first graders, but I want to know how they work for you. Let me know if you try them.
These are my tips for classroom management. Not all these are going to work for you, and you're probably going to have to change them as you get new kids. But for me, this is what works. This is the best thing that I have ever done, and it just works with hallway procedures. Every time we go in the hallway, they want to know who the tap jar person is. I started Secret Student about a month ago, and if the class isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, you say, my secret student isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then everyone's quiet. This is the best thing to ever happen to me. All I have to do is click it, and they are dead silent. In the beginning of the year, I implemented that if they talk after the bell rings, then they put their name on the board and they have to walk a lap at recess. So now no one talks after the bell. I also love these because not everyone is coming up to you asking to go to the bathroom to get a tissue. They just do the sign and then I'm like, and then they'll go. So it doesn't interrupt class time. Also, all day long, I'm complimenting the positives of what people are doing. So if they're sitting quietly at their desk, I compliment them so then everyone else kind of wants to act like them. If they get called out twice in one day, I give them candy. A lot of people are going to come at me for giving candy, but it works. Also, I visibly display their workstation and their class jobs so that they don't have to ask me where to go, when to go, and all those things.
I walked around the room, heard some excellent responses. Remember, the question is, explain the difference between the words chat and gossip using connotation. I want you to use that word connotation in your response. So someone who feels confident about explaining these two words, please raise your hand. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of hands. I'm going to start with Emma, and then we can move about the room.
I teach 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and 18-year-olds. And you know what I use? I use what's called a compliance raffle. For the past few years, a compliance raffle has worked for me. It started as like a weekly raffle drawing where I would hand out these tickets when I saw good behaviors that I was looking for. And at the end of the week, I would draw from the raffle tickets and they'd get a prize. But this completely backfired because the kid who on Monday was doing all the great behavior, he got 4 raffle tickets for that, right? And then Tuesday he's acting like a clown, and Wednesday he's trifling, and Thursday he's acting a fool. And then we do the drawing on Friday, and you know who wins? That kid. So I said enough of that. I'm going to do a daily compliance raffle. So I will hand out tickets on the day in class, collect the tickets at the end of the period, do a quick drawing. The kid gets a prize if they get picked, and then all the tickets are going to go into the garbage can. New day, new class, we begin again. I even have a sign for it right here. I am so proud of you when you do something good. Get a raffle ticket and enter the daily prize drawing for doing something like, and then I have a list of things that they can do. But let's maybe take a look at this one, having your cell phone put away. I may target that behavior in the first couple weeks of school. I'm really going to hone in on it because I expect my kids to have their phone upside down or in their pocket. So at the start of class, I'm going to walk the room and I'm going to say, hey, Mary, thanks for having your phone upside down. Hello, Tommy, thanks for having your phone upside down. Hello, Sally, thanks for having your phone upside down. But little Timothy, who sits right here, he has his phone right side up because he's going to show me. He's not going to be putting that phone upside down. And so I look at him, I look at his phone, and then I start handing out tickets to more people. Oh, hello, Amanda. Thanks for having your phone upside down. Kids write their names on those tickets. It goes into a milk jug at the end of the hour. I draw, and they get a small little bag of Flamin' Hots. I can get those at a discounted price at Sam's Club, so they're running me about 33 cents a bag. You know, so I might be spending, if I have my freshman classes, I might be spending about $1 a day on this rewards raffle. And it's completely worth it. Like, I spend more than $1 a day on a lot of dumb stuff. But this is going to get me what I need. I need those phones to be upside down. And in the end, I abandoned this. So I'm not doing it all year long. Last year, I stopped doing it in late October. Like, I just kind of weaned them off of it because they're not really doing it for this. And they're not really doing it for the bag of Flamin' Hots. In the end, they want my approval. You know why? Because they're kids. In the process, they realize that following the procedures and the rules and being like a normal person is actually kind of fun. Yeah, when you're normal and nice, you get more done and people like you.
I'm a high school science teacher, and let me tell you something that I started to do this year to help keep my rules, routines, and expectations in place. And that is, you've been caught cards. I've been telling my students time and time again that I want to break this narrative of me as a teacher catching students doing bad things. I've been telling them I want to catch them doing good things. So I've outlined to my students a list of things that can make a student be a positive member of our classroom community. And anytime that I notice them consistently contributing positively to our classroom community, I give them a "You've been caught" card. Here's what it looks like. They can collect 5 and show me for a prize like candy or stickers. Here's an example of how I use this as a classroom management strategy. Let's say students are supposed to be working on an assignment quietly, or they're supposed to just be remaining on task. If the majority of the class is not on task, but I notice a few students on task, I'll walk up to those students, I will give them a card, and I will say, "Thank you so much, Jamie, for staying on task. Here's a "You've been caught" card." And then the rest of the class sees, and they start to get on task, hopefully. Another way that I use this is if I really want students to participate out loud during class. If a student raises their hand and participates, consistently, I will say thank you so much for participating consistently. Come to my desk during our break or after class to get a You've Been Caught card. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. And if you like content like this, don't forget to hit the follow button.
Hey guys, and welcome to another video. I wanted to take a moment to share with you one of the classroom management systems I use in my classroom for my high school students. So one thing that I do, it only requires a dry erase board, ignore how dirty mine is, and a dry erase marker. And all I do is divide it into sections, creating a section for each of my classes, and as well as a section for me for each of those classes. So the object of this classroom management system is the students want to try to get to 20 points as a class. The first class or the first, person to get to 20 points, then they get some type of reward. So if we take my third period class, they already have 6 points in their spot, but at the same time that they're trying to get 20 points, I am also getting points. And so the way that works, starting with the negative and closing out with the positive, is that if they're doing anything that I've already told them is not acceptable, so especially with cell phones, this, I just walk over and write a point on the board. Y'all should see the kids, okay? They be looking around, who got their phone out? Put your phone up. They be trying to figure out who's doing what and what it is, but I don't say anything. All I do is walk over and put a point on the board. And I love it because all of the other classes, they'll come in and be like, oh, I know that period bad, because they're able to see the points that are on the board. But in the positive light, if they're doing anything that is exceptional. Now, we don't want to reward them for doing the policies and procedures, because that is what you are expected to do. But we do want to find a way to reward when they're doing something that is like noticeable. So if they're coming in, completing the transitions without having to be redirected, you can use this if you need them to move and you want them to do it quietly and in a certain amount of time. So what does that look like? I might say, I need us to go ahead and grab a textbook off the back wall, lead us to do that on a level 0, and get back to our seats by the time I get down to 1. And then you can begin to count 5, 4, and then when you get to 1, they should be down into their seats and ready for you to move on to the next thing. And when they can do that successfully, they would earn a point for their class. I use this for drills, like get out, go where we're supposed to be at, be in the line, green tag is up. Like, I reward them for the things that are exceptional, okay? Now, what happens is once they get to 20 points, then there are a bunch of rewards. So you can do 2 things. I have my students give me things that they would like to receive that are reasonable. And then I might have some that I already have. So you can choose which works for you. Mine include things like lunch on me, breakfast on me, because you want the reward to be worth them obtaining the points. That is the key. Now, high schoolers, of course, they, if you have elementary, you can use this, but you have stickers and, little toys and knickknacks. These kids, especially big kids, they love food, they love to eat, and they love to have a reason to not do no work. So mine include, like, maybe they have no bell ringers for a week, or maybe they can, get a free period, or learning outside, or breakfast with me, lunch with me, things like that. So it's always things that they want to obtain. Now, if I get to 20 points, then I get the opportunity to take one of those rewards away. So it works for me in my classroom. I would love for you to try it in yours and let me know how it goes. And I'll come back with another one. Bye.
Hi, I teach high school, and here's how I handle different types of disruptions in my classroom. So I got these cards from a Walmart parking lot. She's misredacted on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I have me-ified them. So they do look different than hers just because I changed them to fit the format of my classroom, but the text on them is the same. And they all do different things. So I have mine separated into these little tabs. There's one for, hey, like, you seem a little down. What's going on? One for, I can see you cheating. You seem tired. Hey, I noticed that you're not with your friends. Bro, get on task. If you have a student that's been like gone for a long time, you're like, hey, welcome back. You're failing and we need to chat. A welcome to class. That's like if a kid gets added to your class at the last minute. You seem frustrated. Let's chat. Put your phone away and let's make a better choice. So the cards look something like this. They have text and then a little picture on them. They all look a little bit different, right? And then on the back of every card is a sticky note. So if a student is, we'll say, is cheating, okay? I grab a cheating card right out of this little bin. I've labeled them nudge cards because I'm nudging them to do what they're supposed to. I grab a little card and then I just come and I put it face down on their desk. They know that they need to flip it over and read it. And then anything that they need to say back to me needs to get written on this sticky note. I file these sticky notes in their student files. and they put it back on my desk, or they leave it face down on their desk and I pick it up at the end of class. Here is why this is helpful. Sometimes I don't have time, and it's really not my style to pull kids out into the hallway to be like, what's going on with you? Sometimes you just so much happening and you just need to like have a quick conversation. We just write back and forth on a sticky note. It is a silent redirection. The kids tend to mind their business. I don't know, it's worked for me in the past. I'm gonna keep doing it this year. They're from a Walmart parking lot. I'll link it in my TPT. Let me know what questions you have. Have a good day, bye.